There is a compelling logic as to why the Universal Basic Education Commission is charting a new frontier of smart schooling for the delivery of basic education in Nigeria. On one hand, this country cannot afford not to key into the irreversible digital world of today. Secondly, a smart schooling initiative gives Nigerian kids an ambitious head start to be global players. The Smart School initiative of Ubec is thus rooted in the imperative of using tech and digital tools to prepare and position a generation of Nigerians to chart the course of education for all-round development of the country. Welcome to Smart Schooling, Smart Growth. Follow me, Anams Oluchi, as we embark on a three-part journey, spotlighting the Ubec initiative on innovative tech-driven schooling for growth and development in Nigeria.
Through ages, teaching and learning techniques have been largely traditional. However, human endeavors and engagements across the globe are increasingly witnessing what, clearly put, is an irreversible digital convergence. Thinking smart, working smart, and achieving smart outcomes have become unprecedented, profound, and phenomenal. Technology is literally resetting and reinventing itself, and the world is switching into what can be termed the smart mode. All aspects of life, smart tech-driven innovative initiatives have become essential value-adding and game-changing factors. Digital or smart technologies have risen to prominence as a critical determinant of economic growth, national security, and international competitiveness. These technologies are having profound influence on the world's trajectory and the societal well-being of ordinary citizens in ways that seem beyond limits. It is affecting everything from resource allocation to income distribution and growth. The power of smart technology is being felt throughout the industrial world and fundamentally changing value chains and production methods. In the specific case of Nigeria, according to National Bureau of Statistics, the contribution of the digital sector to the economy rose from 13.7% to 15.35% by the third quarter of 2022. Since education is a major determinant of the quality of life of people, not to mention the general well-being of communities and countries, efforts to improve access to education through smart schooling initiatives are on the ascendancy. The trends in smart tech and virtual applications are indeed impacting the broad spreads of the education sector as much as other sectors. Beginning from the late 1990s, many nations have raised the stakes in terms of deliberate and ambitious efforts to integrate technology throughout the education sector. Considered against the background of a 2016 UN Sustainable Development Goals project that some 124 million children and teenagers worldwide were unable to receive a proper education, the push to bridge the gap of educational disparities and inequalities through smart tech can be better appreciated. "78 smart schools are operating in 10 African nations, including Ghana, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Kenya. In Nigeria, the Universal Basic Education Commission, Ubec, is spearheading an unprecedented initiative to integrate tech-based smart approaches into school teaching and learning. This move is considerably innovative, proactive, and is set to change the education ecosystem of Africa's largest economy and world's most populous Black nation. First step actions so far taken in this direction are showing positive indications of the kind of gains and values that can accrue to Nigeria's educational development overall, and especially at the critical primary and secondary school levels.
We need to lay a new foundation for the basic education sector. If you are talking of the integration of information technology, that's an example that you can see. Establish the model schools that others can see.
Ubec is, by its mandate as set out in the law establishing it, is a federal interventionist and regulatory body with a basic thrust of strengthening the foundation level of education in Nigeria. The core mandate of the Ubec is to coordinate all programs of the universal basic education and prescribe minimum standards for basic education in Nigeria. The commission was established by the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education and the Other Related Matters Act of 2004 to eradicate illiteracy, ignorance and poverty, as well as to stimulate and accelerate national development, political consciousness and national integration to fulfill the national philosophy and goals of education. All these align with the country's aspiration to social, economic and political development. Ubec carries out 6 main functions that include disbursement of funds released into the sector by the federal government, draft out the master plan for the development of the sector, provision of basic education facilities, advising the federal government on funding and development of the sector, timely intervention in the education sector. In delivering on these mandates and functions, one of the sure and steady winning ways of Ubec since inception is its strategic and dogged dive into smart schooling initiatives for teaching and learning in Nigeria.
The whole idea is trying to get these kids start early. The smart school, isn't it, has from nursery, isn't it, ECCD, where we hope, isn't it, the children will begin to learn how to manipulate these gadgets, isn't it, and will be able to understand, isn't it, what is required of them. We are not teaching computer science. No, it's the use of computers, isn't it, in day-to-day educational activities within the system.
A key component of this move is the establishment of Digital Resource Center, DRC, coordinated by Professor Bashir Galadanchi.
Is the main idea of the Digital Resource Center is to help the Commission to transition into the 21st century, a century where the skills required for our young ones are different, the technologies are very much different, and even the content that we need to impart to our children is beginning to change or has changed substantially. There's also the need to train our teachers on how to use these new resources. So our Digital Resource Center is doing a lot of training to our teachers to even change their mindset and then to acquaint them with these new technologies.
It is important to note that the ambitious program of establishing smart schools in all the 36 states across Nigeria and the FCT is part of Ubec's efforts to go to the next level in delivering quality basic education in public schools to all school-age going children. The program is a bold attempt towards generalized use of technology to enable Nigerian children get qualitative education compatible to advanced parts of the world. Smart schools employ state-of-the-art information and communication technologies to provide teaching and learning environments, enabling students have high-quality education. The UBE Smart Schools take advantage of modern methods of education using various interactive modules like computers, tablets, interactive whiteboards, projectors, videos, cameras, and school management software solutions for the learning and management processes and to promote higher learning achievements and acquisition of relevant skills for innovation and creativity.
We are now happy to say that the buildings of all these schools have gone very far, in the sense that as an agency that serves the entire country, the commission started with two categories: modern schools 1 and 2. The model 1 are those that are meant to serve geopolitical zones, with one at the capital city in Abuja. And then the model 2 were intended to serve in each of the remaining 30 states. That means the 7 initial ones were located in one each of the geopolitical zones. So subsequently, when the model 2 were to take off, they were stationed in the remaining 30 states. This is to provide equitable distribution.
It costs an average of 500 million naira to set up a single smart school. Ubec is spearheading the building of 37 of such facilities as model schools, one in each of the 36 states of Nigeria and the FCT. In terms of its features, each of the smart schools packaged by Ubec are provided with the minimum operation requirements for efficient and effective delivery. The range is robust and elaborate. It includes physical infrastructure such that every model smart school is a complex designed to accommodate early childcare and development education, ECCDE, primary and junior secondary school sections with its own management facilities. Within the complex is a hardware infrastructure and equipment that supports a campus-wide activities fully networked for e-learning with a fast and reliable internet connectivity, giving both teachers and pupils ample access to relevant content and resources. The full bouquet of softwares, including educational management solutions provided in the smart schools, cover the entire spectrum of educational content delivery. These range from e-learning software, content development software, and school management solutions, all adding required credence to the educational support infrastructure in the smart schools. Smart classrooms bear unique features to assure adequate teaching and learning environment. They are spacious, well illuminated, and ventilated with appropriate furnishing that allow effective interaction between learners and teachers, and also among learners. The design of tables are large enough to accommodate tablets and writing materials. Also, the furniture can be rearranged to meet classroom dynamic instructional needs, such as group work. Various gadgets are provided in the classes, including smart boards for visual and audio presentations. The smart schools host a combination of conventional library and e-library, well equipped with textual and virtual resource materials. Additionally, computer and science laboratories for instructional, research experiment, and teaching skills training purposes are ready features of the smart schools. Educational content, which in the context of smart schools refer to the relevant educational materials appropriate for teaching and learning according to specific curricula, differ clearly from traditional educational materials. The needs for smart schooling are a combination of multimedia provisions: text, audio, video, animation, as well as virtual reality and augmented reality components.
It's a much more engaging environment, and that's why it stimulates the brains of these kids. It makes them, understand, isn't it? That education is an exciting enterprise that they get involved in and can interact with the teacher, can interact with the gadgets, and be able to develop themselves educationally.
Alternative power sources are factored into the smart schools in the form of solar power.
Every single school of ours has a large number of solar panels connected to inverters and a large array of batteries, so that whether there is electricity from the national grid or not, there will be enough electricity to power all our devices. We also have generators in every single school.
The smart schools are also to have installed CCTV coverage for all-round 24 hours surveillance of external and internal perimeters. This way, security and safety of the smart schools are guaranteed. Access to some areas in the school, such as library, canteen, hostels, among others, are to be restricted using a digital access control system.
Efforts have been made. Every school that had been completed, we would not put any gadget until and unless the state, isn't it, had agreed to provide security. The National Security Corps had been very, very, very helpful, isn't it, in providing, isn't it, security to many of these schools. The zonal models also have cameras, and this you can monitor them from the Digital Resource Center in Abuja. A CCTV, what is going on, isn't it, in terms of security and so on and so forth.
In order to motivate students and inculcate in them a spirit of innovation and inquiry, as well as teach them programming skills from a young age, the schools will have laboratories well equipped with science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics kits, including programmable robot kits. Large auditoriums are planned for the smart schools to seat large number of people for lectures, conferences, and workshops. This facility will also serve surrounding communities, especially training of the teachers from other schools on smart teaching and learning methods. There is a computer training center with networked desktop laptop systems, Wi-Fi enabled, for the purpose of practical training of teachers, including those from surrounding schools.
What we've been doing is also to orientate our teachers, sensitize them to the use of technology in education. Whoever doesn't want to embrace technology in education will be left behind. And the Commission knows this. So the first thing is to ensure that the teachers that will be in the classroom, they need to know the current situation, evolving issues in education. And once they are knowledgeable about this, then the next thing is to build their capacity.
Students with special needs are equally catered for in the Smart Schools initiative of Ubec. Specialized hardware and software systems to meet the needs of such students is thus top consideration. Then again, since no competence of the initiative can be ignored, head teachers and principals responsible for the overall management of the schools are equally taken into account.
So far, we have been able to design some trainings, and we have come up with contents for those trainings, and we have had about 2 or 3 trainings so far. We decided to do a pilot of the smart school before we go right into it, to see some of the challenges that will be there, and we can learn from those challenges. So we selected some smart schools, about 5 of them at the beginning: Gombe, Kano, Kwara, Ekiti, and Anambra, to start with. In that training, we expose them to ICT applications and digital tools. And then we also introduce them to the methodology. Remember, I said it is about new and improved methodology. So we introduce them to the methodology that we feel is necessary for them to be able to really deliver. And that is in what we call the blended learning approach. And we have chosen a particular type of blended learning approach, which is called the station rotation model, where we introduce them to how the station rotation model came about, how it is done, and how they can also use it, the challenges they may face, and how they can overcome such challenges. And then we also use that opportunity to also bring the leadership of those schools, that is the principals of the JSS, the head teachers of the primary school, and the heads of the ECCDE classes. We were able to give them some administrative training on how to manage the smart school.
Overall, smart schools come with baseline advantages that strongly recommend them as a win-win option or strategy. For instance, integrating technology into class prepares the learner for the real-world environment.
With technology, the classroom is a happier place. Learners are excited about being able to use technology and therefore are more apt to learn. Technology in classroom also improves creative thinking in the learning process to visualize concepts and practices with models and demonstrations. It provides interactive and live teaching to elaborate and compare different objects and perceptions towards the particular concept. A technology-driven classroom gives learners the chance to interact with classmates more by encouraging collaboration. Smart tools such as tablets make students engage in more interactive education, provide good opportunities for self-paced learning, and allow better ways to learn at home and complete assignments. E-learning software provides better ways to measure pupils' progress, keep track of students' performances, and store academic records.
They're going to be competing with children of other countries in the world. So whatever other children in different parts of the world are getting in terms of better education, we also need to institute those changes in our schools, in our delivery systems of education, in our overall system of education.
Indeed, the Smart Schools initiative of Ubec has been of tremendous benefit to the Nigerian educational system. While it may not be possible to instantly convert all public schools in the country into smart institutions, its diverse benefits to the nation makes it worthwhile. In this sense, students, parents, and teachers of surrounding schools can tap into the possibility of visiting and experiencing firsthand the effectiveness of smart teaching and learning over traditional methods. Ubec is committing itself to giving teachers of surrounding schools practical hands-on computer training as well as workshops on smart learning and teaching methods. Ubec also plans that the smart schools established by it will serve as pilot scheme to benchmark for best practices among public schools across the country. It is hoped that after gaining requisite experience on the optimal way of running such schools, state governments with active engagement of Ubec will establish more smart schools in their domain until such becomes the standard for public schools in Nigeria.
There were many strategies followed or strategies adopted. Initially, there was what the commission called a task team. This committee gave a report on how the commission should go about doing this program. This report is what this commission is following in terms of the outline of activities that are lined up in that report.
Through a gradual expansion program, Ubec hopes to build more smart schools while upgrading and equipping the traditional schools to provide e-learning. The end goal is to ensure that no child is left behind in this digital age.
To move forward in the area of smart education and to provide the world, not only Nigeria, but also to provide the world with the human resources that these schools will produce, and to help Nigeria move forward in a very decisive manner in the area of education and the area of national development.
The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, is committed to driving and delivering on its mandate. The Smart School Initiative remains a major plank in the broad strategy to achieving this objective.
It's like a kind of privilege, to be able to lay the foundation for smart education in Nigeria.
Join us again on Smart Schooling, Smart Growth in our continuing series spotlighting the innovative initiative of UBEC on tech-driven schooling for growth and development in Nigeria.